Hi, welcome back to Bus Picks, episode 65. Don, how's your day? 66?
66.
66. Jesus Christ.
Just over retirement.
Don, how's your day gone?
Busy one. Busy one. A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff going on. But we're here to talk about sports. There's a lot of cool things happening in sports right now with the NBA Finals, NHL, NFL starting to get some rumblings. We hear a lot of this Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, who's going to be the quarterback. We're not going to talk about any of that today.
No, we'll get into that more as camps go on,
Yes.
as Shedeur keeps asking Flacco to dance on the field with him.
I will say this. Does it feel a little weird that Joe Flacco's in a Browns uniform?
No.
I don't think it should.
I don't think it's weird. It was weird seeing him, and then he balled out with Njoku for a little bit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I just like you, Joe. Like, I can't, I know it's division rival, but I'm like, I just like the guy.
It was also shocking to see like the Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco pictures where Dylan Gabriel's like 5'10",
Yeah.
and Joe Flacco's like 6'5", and it's just like haunting to see those two quarterbacks standing side by side. I'm like, what is this league?
Crazy.
That's all the NFL talk you're going to get from me today, though. Don, let's go into fact of the day.
Fact of the day. So this happened over the weekend, and just a quick one for MLB because we're not touching on it too much today.
Yeah.
But the Cubs at the end of the first inning on the Friday night game or Saturday game, first time ever they fielded 9 players on defense, all first round picks.
What?
Yeah, their entire 9 on defense, so from pitcher all the way through, were all former first round picks.
First time in MLB history or team history.
MLB history.
That's what?
That's a weird one, yeah. Like we're still finding new records to break. Yeah, the entire defensive side of the ball, like defense that was out there.
Outfield, catcher, pitcher, everybody. First round pick.
Was a first round pick at one point. No.
Oh.
No, they had to do that because they called up some guys due to like injuries and rotations.
Gotcha.
Some of them were a little fresh.
There's like a new pitcher coming out from that like a lot of people are really excited about coming from Milwaukee. That's gonna make his debut on Thursday. He apparently can pitch like 105 controllable. I'm really excited to see him.
We saw him a little bit in training camp. He's the one that has that cool dance move.
Yeah.
The issue, like, just smoked it in the I don't want to say Dominican League, but I'm forgetting which overseas league he was in originally. But then when he came in for spring training, the big issue he had was control.
Yeah,
like
he sends it all over the plate.
A little bit there. If he can take it down like 101 or even 98,
I mean, he
consistently and just dial it in,
one of the best closers in
it's going to be filthy.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Guys, we have a special treat for you today. It is the NBA award show. We got 8 awards to give away. Last year, we gave out another 8. This year, we got a couple returning, a few new ones to the edition. But don't worry, we're going to end it all with our pick of the week, our bust of the year in the NBA, and our very good player of the year.
Yeah.
The most good player of the year.
Yeah.
The guy who we think was the most good. Let's start with a little news first. I do want to touch this before we get into the award show. Tom Thibodeau did get released by the New York Knicks.
Yeah, that news just broke a little bit ago.
Do you think that was a fair move by the Knicks to say, all right, we're going to cut Tom Thibodeau. We're going to move on from you. We're going to go ahead and look in a different direction, even though you've pretty much single-handedly turned the entire franchise around?
I'm looking at it one of two ways.
Okay.
Because I think that's doing the man dirty, especially because they came very close this year. They just needed they had the pieces.
Do you think they came very close, or do you think this was a weak East that they benefited from?
I think it was a weaker East, definitely. But if I just wanted a little bit more out of Towns, if you could just find like that one extra kind of spark on this team, they would have made the finals.
I'm fine with them firing him.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have lost his job.
No.
But this is the number one indicator of if you're an NBA head coach, there is nothing called job security. There's nothing you can do. Disappoint your fans a little bit, you're dead.
I don't like that. I'm looking at it from the way that I would be more accepting of is the same way New Jersey Devils did.
They fired the Nuggets head coach.
Yeah.
Mike Malone is gone.
Mike Malone's gone, but that should have been the GM, in my opinion. That was not Mike Malone's fault. They had nobody for depth in that roster. Like, Jokic was the first ever MVP finals candidate without having a defensive player of the year candidate, an all-star, or an offensive player of the year candidate on his team with him.
Ridiculous.
First ever MVP to ever have that last year and then try to run it back again this year.
Yeah, he's...
Like, it was just him. Like, no one was made first team. No one made first team anything. No one made second team anything.
Do you think
third
Jokic
team anything.
gets an award tonight from us?
Maybe. But I don't know there.
I think
the Thibodeau firing, I look at it the same way New Jersey did in the NHL. They, like, because New Jersey could have been like, oh, it was just an injury prone year. We could run it back. But they fired their head coach in a similar fashion. And that to me says ownership's not here to make an excuse. They're here to, if they can see an opportunity to improve the team, they're going to, and they need to do whatever they can to win. That means desperation for the win. And I like that out of a team.
Last question before we get into the awards. Over under 50 wins, maybe second round. Over under, they make it past the second round next year, New York Knicks.
Oh, I think they get over. Ooh.
Not get past.
Okay, the 50 wins, I think that they're going to be right around there. I like that line.
Okay.
I don't know if they make another Eastern Conference final.
It's
I want to see
hard.
what. It's very difficult. You're going to have the Celtics back, hopefully, to better strength, even though their window looks closed at the moment.
Yeah.
I like what a few other teams in the East are doing. There's some
Philly's
potential
going to be a
there.
little rowdy. I don't think they're going to be like a super good team, but I think they're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs at least.
Indy's going to be good again next year, too.
I don't know what Giannis is doing, but I'm waiting to. I know odds are like 70-30 he leaves, but there's still that 30% Cavs there. I would be hesitant to say it, but it wouldn't surprise me either.
Okay.
Like I'd take, if they look hot and they get a good coach, I'd bet on them.
I think they're going to make another big move this offseason. I would say right now, yes, they will make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think they just overpaid for Mikal Bridges. That was their biggest flaw this year.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time getting off that contract.
Yeah, the Villanova Knicks hype was just too much. You didn't need to go into the meme.
Let's get into the first award. It is the I Thought He Retired award for the player that kind of surprises you. You look at the rosters and you're like, that guy's still playing. That guy still gets minutes. I did some honorable mentions.
Sure.
My honorable mentions are Eric Gordon, who does play.
He does get some occasionally. And it's like, oh, you're still here.
Eric Gordon plays for the 76ers. He played a little bit. He got a little banged up. But there was times where I was like, Eric Gordon's still playing.
Yeah.
And JaVale McGee, who is still somehow on a roster, still playing, still gets about 8 minutes a game. Shout out to JaVale McGee. He kind of just proves if you're long and you were good like 5 years ago, you could still get a job.
Mine's kind of in the same vein as that. For me, it was DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan was one of the top candidates for me to win this award.
Exactly. Because I'm like, I expected him to be like a 3-minute kind of thing, or like, because he's younger than Al Horford. Like, people forget that.
Al Horford is the oldest man alive,
but he's
next
still,
to LeBron.
Horford's getting over 20 minutes a game, a night still. Like, Jordan was only getting meaningful minutes when it came to playoffs at that point.
Michael Jordan. Or DeAndre Jordan.
But he's getting meaningful minutes still in playoffs, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, and every time he took the floor, I'm like, are you not doing what Boogie Cousins is doing? Are you not running the Dwight Howard kind of just go dominate the league elsewhere and be the basically Hall of Fame guy anywhere else in the country?
There was
or anywhere
times
else in the world
where I was like, oh, Jokic has got to get off the court. And I was like, who's coming in? And then I'd see DeAndre Jordan taking off like his sweater vest. And I would just be like, oh, no. I'm about to watch a corpse play basketball.
He's only 36.
I hear you.
Which is crazy young because he doesn't look it. He started so young.
He plays like he used to dunk from the free throw, and guess what? He used to.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect on DeAndre Jordan.
He's very good.
The guy is an athletic freak in
probably
his prime.
Still a top 400 basketball player in the world.
Oh, easily.
Yeah,
easily. And like in his prime, he was deadly.
That's your first award winner.
That's my first award winner.
Mine is kind of in the same vein. Mine's Kevin Love. Kevin Love still
pops up.
Still plays on the Heat now. Does he play only 4 minutes a game? Yeah. But he is like that new Udonis Haslem role for the Heat, where they just have an old big man that just sits on the roster, comes in a few times every few nights, gets a couple boards, and just claps really hard for the young boys.
I think he's more of a mentor. At this point, you keep him around more to be a mentor than anything else.
But it is ridiculous that he's taking up time and a roster spot from a potential player that could be, I don't know, improving that roster and not taking as much cap space because he's making $16 million a year still.
That's way too much Well, how much? I'm trying to think. Like, how much was Haslam making when he was doing that role?
He was making vet minimum.
Okay, like that makes more sense.
He's not Kevin Love.
He's not Kevin Love, but like
never Kevin Love.
16 isn't. 16's too high, but you give him like 8.
That's more than Austin Reeves.
Yeah, you give him like 7, 8. I'm like, okay, I could swallow that a little bit.
I think the vet minimum's like 4.5.
Yeah,
that's what he should be making.
7, 8. I think is you give Kevin Love the name brand.
Yeah.
4.5 feels where he's at.
I think they're still selling Kevin Love jerseys.
Oh, I would buy one.
I love.
You know
that.
what? I might buy one. That would go great. But I need like this year's City Connect jersey.
You have to get as recent of a Kevin Love jersey as possible.
Exactly. Just leave it for the deep heads.
Our second award is going to go to the "You Gotta Watch That Guy" award for the player that you hear is really good, but you just have never had the time or never get to watch their games on TV. I'm not saying that you have to have never seen this guy, because that's impossible.
Yeah.
But a guy that you're like, I should be watching more of him.
I'm cheating a little bit here because he missed quite a few games.
That's fair.
He only played half the season.
Can I give some honorable mentions
Sure,
first?
let's hear it.
My first one is Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Oh, wait, my bad. Wrong award. My first one is Anthony Simmons.
Okay, I like that one.
Of the Trailblazers. Very good player. Never going to be a superstar, but a very, very fun player to watch.
And I think Trailblazers didn't get a lot of national games this year.
No, they're one of the worst teams in the world.
Yeah.
And then Scotty Barnes off the Raptors, who I think is like a really good Robin, and whoever they end up getting to like really build that Raptors team, because I think with Ingram and RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes, they have like a good unit there.
They have a decent core. They have like the Chicago Bulls kind of like.
I think they're just a little bit better.
I'm just saying, like,
I hear what you're saying.
No superstar, but just guys who are good.
Yeah, and I think Scotty Barnes is one of those guys that's like, just go watch some Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, that's a fun little like Sunday afternoon watch.
Who's your winner?
For me, he missed half the season, didn't get it until game 42, but Quentin Post, rookie on Golden State.
I'm actually really excited you pick Quentin Post.
I like the guy a lot. I finally got to really appreciate him come the playoffs, and that's what makes me excited to watch him more next season. A stretch 5, really good 3-point shooter for his size.
When I watch him play, I'm not even joking you. I watch him and I'm like, this is the kind of big man Don likes.
It is, because like he does get physical, but he needs to. He bangs inside.
He has some moves for a big guy.
But he's also shooting over 50% from the 3 this season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's hitting he's hitting 40.8 from the 3, 58.2 from 2. Nearly 60% in his 2-point field goals.
That's a weapon.
That's a weapon right there. And the fact that he gets physical on top of it, like he has the finesse, and that is a big that I think could help shape this league really well.
You got to go watch. You got to go watch some more of Quentin Post. See, that's a way better pick than who I gave. I gave Paolo Banchero, who is probably going to be an all-star NBA player. But
they need to figure out their offensive issues in Orlando for that team to make that step.
The Orlando Magic have the lowest ratings in the entire NBA and the lowest viewership. So mathematically, he is the least viewed good player that you need to be watching.
Yeah,
I'm even guilty of it. I can't tell you a Paolo Banchero highlight. I know he's really good at basketball, and I've seen him do really good things. But in my head, I can't be like, "Do you remember this play?" And everyone be like, "Yeah, that guy. He's really good. Go watch him. Mm-hmm. He's like a big man that can. He's the hybrid big mans that everyone in the NBA is looking for now, and he's so much fun to watch, and that's why he gets this award from me.
Yeah, I think if he's going to stay in Orlando, either Orlando needs to overhaul their deep game because like they have no one who could shoot 3. They're the worst 3-point percentage in the league and took the lowest amount of 3-pointers in the league.
They don't shoot.
They do not shoot. Or Banchero needs to work on just some post stuff. Like it's kind of like jumpers closer to the key, but not in the key.
But Don, what if I have a better strategy for the victory? They got new uniforms, and they're throwbacks. So
I mean, the throwbacks for the Magic do look good. I can't say that.
Let's go into our third award, the hate watch of the year. This goes for the player that you hated watching the most. I'm going to give you my 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
One of them I kind of spoiled with Russell Westbrook.
Sure.
I hate watching Russell Westbrook. I think watching him on the Nuggets kind of implode has been some of the most moments of my life. I've been on this Russell Westbrook hate train for 10 years now, and I'm very happy that the entire public is on my side.
Okay.
Jordan Poole is my other honorable mention, who is like, if you want to go watch Washington Wizards games, go knock yourself out. You're going to watch this guy do 7 minutes of dribble exercises and then shooting the most ridiculous shots you've ever seen in your life. He had a WAR of minus 515 on the season. That's historically bad.
Yeah, like he plays like your friend that you never want to play pickup ball with.
Yeah. Not my winner, though. Who's your winner?
I'd rather you go because I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute.
Mine's easy. Mine's just Drew Holiday.
Okay. Ooh.
Drew Holiday is a good basketball player.
I was like, he doesn't normally get the hate level of this.
Correct. I hate Drew Holiday. 1, he's a Celtic, but that's like the bare minimum. 2, he's a defensive first point guard, which in this league is pretty much a dinosaur. He is too old.
Faded out.
And how much he's getting paid for this Celtics roster, on this Celtics roster, who could actually use a point guard or a shooting guard that could be dynamic like Derek White. I just see him as a point of my television every time I watch him. I'm like, this guy is boring to watch on a team that I hate, and I don't like watching him play the game of basketball. Sure, he can avoid really good screens sometimes. That's about it that I'm getting from Drew Holiday, and I'm sick of watching it. But he's a good basketball player.
It's not a style of basketball you like.
That's it. It's my personal hate watch.
No,
he gets
I get
the
it.
award. The other two guys are genuinely bad. Who's your soapbox? I wonder who your soapbox is going to be.
No, it's Draymond.
Yeah.
It's for sure Draymond. But it's not just because, like, normally I'll credit to, like, dirty player. I'm not a fan of his attitude. I'm just not a fan of a lot of things. This season, it's been, I don't think he should have a roster spot. Like, objectively speaking. And
he almost won Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't know how. Because none of the statistics support him being in that category whatsoever.
We have an award later that I was like, I'm going to throw Draymond Green's name into the ring. And I was like, I started looking into the numbers and I was like,
it's not good.
What's happening here?
I don't get it. Because he was averaging just shy of 3 turnovers a game.
Yeah, which isn't great for a guy who's just like your like pseudo center.
He's a pseudo center. 9 points a game. 8.8 and change.
I don't hate it. I don't love it.
He shot 68% from free throw.
That's Draymond Green ball.
That's terrible. And only got 6 boards on average per game.
That's Draymond Green ball.
6 boards.
Yeah.
He couldn't even play pseudo center correctly.
He had like 4.5 assists a game though.
Yeah, it was statistically his worst. So averaging more field goals. He's taken more shots this season than he has in basically dating back to 2017. He is shooting more.
Yeah, because they're asking him to shoot more.
They're asking him to shoot more. Second lowest field goal percentage over that span. So he's not only shooting more, but he's missing more than all time. His rebounding was the worst year since 2013, and he only started 12 games in 2013. He was coming off the bench. That was his sophomore year.
Yeah.
So worst rebounding year since then. And saw an increase in minutes from last year to this year.
That first year he was still learning how to play basketball.
Yeah, he was still figuring it out. And then he from last year to this year, he increased the minutes by 2 more minutes a game.
They had to because they lost players like Klay Thompson. They lost some players on that roster. And then once Jimmy Butler did come, his defense acumen did improve. The team overall did
improve.
Yes.
He is also on an 11-year high in amount of fouls per game.
Yeah, there's no excuse
more than
I
ever.
can make for that.
Yeah.
He likes to foul and he likes to play his brand of basketball.
And he has the lowest assist number since 2015.
Yeah, he's not.
This is statistically his worst season. He's going sub 40% from and then playoffs shot under 40% from field goal. And got 5.6 boards per game, shot 57% from free throw, and was a top 30 minutes player throughout the entire playoffs.
But you just hate Draymond Green, though.
This is my issue with him normally is I don't like his play style. I don't like him for a lot of reasons. The idea that he was getting more playoff minutes than Donovan Mitchell, more playoff minutes per game than Ja Morant, more playoff minutes per game than Andrew Wiggins.
Those are all except for Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Those other two players are ball dominant players who have to run a lot more. Draymond Green is playing
more than Evan Mobley. He should. Draymond Green had more minutes per game than any Cavalier.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a crazy number.
On top of that, he's a top 65 contract in the league.
Yeah, he is one of the
still
biggest
making
names.
$25 million a year. He's making more than Mikal Bridges. He's making more than DeMar DeRozan.
Whoa.
He's making more than Miles Turner.
Whoa, those are all players better than him.
He's making more than DeAndre Hunter. You could combine Chet Holmgren and PJ Washington's contract, and it's still less than what Draymond makes a year.
Yeah.
That's why I hate to watch him, because it's not just him as his play style where it's been in previous years. It's you are actively detrimental to your team with a negative WAR. This is the worst year, and you still have 3 more years on your contract. He just re-signed last year.
Can I ask you a question about the Warriors?
Sure.
You love Steph Curry. I
like Steph Curry. I like him.
I think he's going to go down as one of the most impactful basketball players.
And I'm a big fan of him. He buckets.
I like Jimmy. Do you think that Draymond Green, like them holding on to this Draymond Green era for so long, is going to be one of the reasons why maybe Steph Curry's career near the end didn't end the way that they want it to?
Completely. And that's my issue. That's where the hate watch is this team still has some juice.
Yeah.
Like they still have guys, like they are actively adding to this roster, going after Jimmy, because they have some juice to make a run.
Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
Do you think that where the Warriors roster is right now and where the Lakers roster is right now, who do you think has more juice to win a championship?
I think the Lakers do right this second.
But it's closer than people.
But it's very tight.
I agree.
It's a very tight window. I think because of Post, he will dominate no one on the Lakers roster could compete with him right now. But I think adding Draymond in there gives the Lakers a leg up too.
It is crazy that you hate Draymond Green so much that the guy we need to be watching more is the guy who's taking minutes from.
Yes.
Wow, that you should win an award for that. That was crazy.
I didn't even set it up that way just because I like watching Post, and then I see Draymond on the floor, and I'm like, you are actively bad for this team now. It's not that. You can't even credit I don't like him and his play style, but at least he's playing good defense. I could understand that if okay, I don't like you, but you're doing a net benefit for the roster. He's no longer has that to him anymore.
I 100% agree with you with everything you've said about Draymond Green. My personal love for Draymond Green comes from my inability to play basketball and his inability to play basketball. And he genuinely makes me feel like anyone can play if you're just given the right abilities.
Sure.
And when I watch him play basketball, it makes me happy because I'm like, anyone can do this. And I know that might be backhanded a little bit, but it genuinely makes me happy.
If that works for you,
it floats my boat.
Yeah, that's fine. And in previous years, I could accept that.
Yeah, but this is the year where you're like, I'm sick of it. You're ruining Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
Exactly. You are actively ruining this roster that could still make a run.
Steve Kerr loves them, though, Don.
Dude, I don't know why. You got rid of Clay, who's making less than Draymond right now.
Yeah, making way less.
Yeah, significant, over $10 million less a season.
Crazy.
But you still kept Draymond.
Let's get into the fourth award, the Vibes Guy of the Year, for the guy who may not be the best player on his team, but the vibes are always great when he's around.
Yeah.
The guy that you're like, I would love to get him on my team. There's one guy that I think is the clear winner.
Sure.
I have one honorable mention, though, of Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart on the Knicks is a big vibes guy for me.
Okay.
I think I know Jalen Brunson and the Villanova guys, but I think Josh Hart is quote unquote the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah.
I think Draymond Green is kind of also the heart and soul of the Warriors. That's another honorable mention.
Sure.
But my winner of Vibes Guy of the Year is Alex Caruso.
Okay. I was curious where you're going with this one.
I think Alex Caruso should be everyone's vibe guy of the year. He is the quote-unquote old head of this championship team that's making a run. He's coming off the bench. Sometimes he's starting. He's not the best player on his roster, but he's still very, very good. He's probably the 5th best guy on his team.
Fair enough.
He plays defense super hard. And what I love about him the most is he's smiling. Every interview he's doing, he's cracking jokes, win or lose. He's there at the podium ready to be like, hey, guys, I'm having a good time here.
I get to play Oklahoma. A game for a living.
And it's so infectious. It's a guy that Lakers fans miss every day of yes, we have our white boys and we have our own little armada, but it started with you, Alex. And we miss you. And congratulations on Vibes Guy of the Year for me. Don?
For me, I was going back and forth. One honorable mention I'll throw in there as well was Derek White. I think he's just a great glue guy.
Don,
like,
that's great vibes guy.
He's a great vibes guy. He did it in Chicago. He's just doing it in Boston.
Everywhere he goes, you're like, this guy's going to give me 11 when I need it.
On top of that, he's the first guy. Like, and I throw this for all the guys we've named, basically. Including my winner, which is Josh Hart.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because
he was my runner-up. So
okay, fair enough. And the one thing I love about them, Caruso included, is like right after any kind of play, they're the first guys there. They're the ones who, I did something fun, but look what you did.
But it's like the leadership. Like,
yes. Like they raise everybody else. They're the guys that will go stand up and they'll be getting in someone's face to defend a guy. They'll be, hey, you made a bad shot. Let's clap it up. Let's keep it going. No big deal.
And I think part of it is veteran leadership. Also, Josh Hart, ex-Laker, so we might be, But Alex Caruso, like, there was a moment where someone was saying something about Alex Caruso at an interview, and Chet Holmgren's like, "Don't talk about my GOAT like that."
Yeah,
that's a direct quote from him. And I was just like, these guys love him.
If you get the respect of the young guys that quickly,
he's only 28 years old, and he's the oldest guy on the roster.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But he is the heart and soul of that team, and Josh Hart is not the best player.
No, but he's the motor.
He is a motor.
Yeah.
If they got rid of him this offseason, which I think they might, I don't know if that's the same Knicks team.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
They don't play with that same aggression, tenacity that he shows night in, night out.
I'm happy we can go to eye on that. Let's go to our fifth award is the Lockman of the Year. It's when the game's on the line. Who's the lockdown defender of the year that you want to throw out there? I have mine.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an honorable mention.
Sure.
Alex Caruso is one of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think there was times during that Nuggets series that made me go, yes, everyone on this defense is amazing. Jalen Williams is probably a better defender, but there was moments where Alex Caruso was defending Jokic, and I was like, this guy's a demon.
Yeah.
And Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green's been playing really, really well defensively in the second half of this latter part of the season.
Okay.
But it's more of like rotational skills, and like they're not going to pop out in stats, just like what his presence means on a basketball court. But I think maybe that presence is diminishing a bit.
Yes.
Who's your winner?
For me, it's Ausar Thompson.
I like Ausar Thompson.
I like him a lot. He did come in a little too late to make a run for the Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah.
Just because I think he missed 22 games this season.
Hybrid forward guard, too.
Yeah, he plays a little bit of everything. The thing that stood out to me was their game against the Celtics. Mm-hmm. He locked Taysom up,
Jason
Tatum. He locked him up, was harassing him, ended up picking his pocket, fought through multiple screens constantly.
He's got the big kind of body that's able to like, hey, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to shut down your number one.
But he has the speed of a guard, which is incredible to watch.
He's amazing.
He was second in the league in defensive expected plus minus. Mm-hmm. So he averaged more plus than minus playing defense.
So I was going through a lot of those plus minus defensive stats.
Yeah.
There was like 4 different websites, and they all gave me completely different leaders on those boards.
I use Basketball Reference and Basketball Stathead.
Gotcha.
Personally, that's the ones I like to fall back on. He also has the same block and steal numbers as Dyson Daniels this season, and Dyson, like both of them,
Dyson Daniels got Defensive Player of the Year votes.
Exactly. So he tied Dyson Daniels in blocks per game, steals per game. Both of them nearly averaging 3 steals per game, which is the first time in 25 years someone has done that, which is just incredible to me.
Very impressive.
And then Basketball Reference does have a stat called the O LeBron, D LeBron, where they just basically try to minimize the lucky shots, the ones that statistically shouldn't go in if it has less than 10%.
The prayers.
The prayers.
Yeah.
They kind of remove those and then use those efficiency numbers for the most part. And they just call it LeBron because he's statistically one of the most steady players. Night in, night out, his stats haven't crazy.
They haven't like jumped up and down.
Exactly.
I love that.
They don't deviate much.
Yeah.
And he was third in that index this season as well.
I mean, that's a very good defensive player.
Exactly.
And that's someone that you're like, hey, this is a young player who's like trying to get after it. And I remember watching some games with him where I was like, this guy's going to be a very good player. Whether he's going to be offensively, I know he's had some offensive like step backs. Defensively, I think he'd be in this league for a very, very long time.
Exactly. And his brother's coming in the league pretty soon, too. I think they could both make runs for Defensive Player of the Year. They played nearly identical.
I really wanted to give this award to Evan Mobley. I really did. And I couldn't because he has so much recognition already. I went very different. There is a defensive player in this league who gets a lot of flowers and has gotten a lot of flowers, it's time for him to win a big award. I'm giving it to Al Horford again. I think Al Horford's ability and what he does for the Celtics is as integral as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I think what he was able to do for these past 2-3 years and how he plays for them has been so impressive. His ability to be able to guard all positions on the court at his age and still be a dominant player. Can he do it as long? No. But when it's the game is on the line and I see Al Horford's on one of my player that needs to go get a bucket, I'd be lying if I was like, this is easy. This is the matchup we want.
Yeah, it's not. He could run a really weird stretch five. Like not on offense, but for perimeter defense level, as long as it's not basically like Jalen Brunson size kind of like speedster, he could shut down forwards and centers really well.
But like Rudy Gobert is a 4-time defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm like, anyone can get buckets on this guy. There's very few times where I'm watching Al Horford play basketball and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy doesn't have it. Get him off the court. He's not able to lock down his player.
No, and the Celtics do a very good job of bringing him in specific moments in a game.
To let him shine.
Well, they shut down momentum.
Yeah.
Like if the minute that the other team starts getting any kind of footing, Horford kind of just settles the game back down.
I love him.
Yeah. Great presence.
Number 6, the offseason award. This goes to the team that had the best ad for their team, whether it was during the offseason, during the season. Just the move that kind of made the team better overall.
Yeah.
In the biggest way. I think we know who the winner is going to be. But.
Interesting. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 2 honorable mentions.
Sure.
First one's Hartenstein for the Thunder.
Yes.
I think what he's been able to do off the bench in playoff minutes, he averages 9 points. He's a big presence. He allows teams to not really get rest because they have a big Chet Holmgren, and then they got to go deal with a big Hartenstein. He's very, very impressive, but not good enough to win.
I don't think he's there just because I don't think they can lock him up long term. Like he's great for this season, but he's only there for like a year or two.
I think he's got 2 more years in the option. Or 1 more year in the option.
1 more year in the option, and I don't know if they could re-sign him long term.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to sign other people, but Karl Anthony Towns was a huge ad for me.
Yeah.
I think if they don't sign Karl Anthony Towns, they're not in the Eastern Conference Finals. Whether he's on that team at the end of the year, at the end of this year, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think he's there.
My winner
Sure.
is Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
Makes sense.
He's the best ad maybe in the past 5 years. He's the number 1 move that's happened in the NBA. Was it probably a little, maybe under the table type of deal? Yeah, probably. But it's the best off-season move I've ever seen, during season move I've ever seen. It upgraded the team not only for 1 year, but for maybe a decade.
Yeah.
So that's my award winner.
For me, I'm going for Atlanta Hawks. I think getting Dyson Daniels, but not just getting Dyson Daniels, getting rid of DeJounte Murray, which
DeJounte Murray
did not work with that system, did not work with Trae Young well, and being able to get Dyson Daniels and 2 first-round picks for him.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Hawks played a masterful chess game with that move. You immediately kickstart your restart. You have Daniels who could shut down, lock down 1 defensive player of the year for a reason.
I think Dyson Daniels is a really good player, man.
And he looks good next to Trae.
Oh,
they play off each other very well in a way. Murray never really had that chemistry in the same way in this scheme fit. And then the 2 first rounds to finish a rebuild for over the next 2 years.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
I think what the Atlanta Hawks are building, I do think they should be a little bit more aggressive with going after Giannis. But man, the Atlanta Hawks are building something really, really cool.
That's what scares me in the East in the next few years.
Yeah.
Like they can make a run.
They got to sign and they got to get good contracts. But
yes,
let's go into some of the more prestigious awards. Don, it is the most good player of the year. This goes to the award for the player who we believe is the most good player. It's also presented to you by Don's Basement. Are you ever alone? Are you ever sad? Don't worry, Don's Basement's there for you. You just show up and they got all the silly putty you need. Don's Basement, open 4 hours a day unless you knock twice. The most good player award, there's a couple honorable mentions for me.
Sure.
Trae Young was one of them for me.
I like that, yeah.
Atlanta Hawk, 24 points, 3 rebounds, 11 assists. Very, very good year just on a bad team. Another one, James Harden, who had a sneaky, really good year.
Yeah, he kind of carried the Clippers for a long time there.
Kawhi Leonard also,
Kawhi had his moments. Harden was just he elevated.
22 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists a game. That
Yeah.
is good basketball from like
An aging veteran.
most people would be like, James Harden's still kind of doing it. And I'm like, no, James Harden is still doing it.
Yeah, not kinda. Still had a great year.
Who's your most good player of the year?
For me, I took this as not an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
And then I even took it further, did not make an all-star team whatsoever.
Correct.
Sabonis on the Kings. Like, he put up career
We have
high.
the same most good player.
Oh,
of the
did
year.
we?
That's good. That means
Yeah.
he really deserves it.
I mean, career high in assists, career high in rebounds, kind of set the tone for a lot of the way the Kings played. He just had no one next to him.
Yeah, they try to like patch it up with like, here's DeRozan, and I think DeRozan's.
I think
age is, like,
DeRozan's, he's slowing down. He's a slasher, and
I
that
think
kinda runs out
Zach
quick.
LaVine's clearly not the player that everyone thinks or thought he was going to be. Sabonis is a unmitigated superstar in this league.
yes.
That's another guy who everyone should be watching. I think Sabonis had a fantastic year, and probably if they want to reset that organization, it should be with him going somewhere really, really cool.
Yeah, I think if you could move him for some good pieces, or if you want to build I don't know the contract situation for
I don't know it either.
Levine or for DeRozan, but if you're able to kind of mess around a little bit and you can build like the Memphis style defensive grit and grind run with Sabonis as your core,
Yeah.
that would be a fun team to see come out of the West.
I'd like to see him in like Detroit with like a.
Oh, that'd be filthy.
And I may be saying that because I'm going to give my most good player of the year award to Cade Cunningham instead. That
Yeah.
way, Sabonis gets one. I'll give one to Cade Cunningham. But I am cheating. I think he is going to make third team All Stars. He did make the Eastern Conference All Stars, but he wouldn't have made it in the West. So I'm going to count Cade Cunningham, who had a great year: 26 points,
Yeah.
6 rebounds, 9 assists. Very good Pistons team. Took them to a playoff game. They didn't really win too much, but they're kind of threatening. We can kind of see. I've always loved Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
I have a love for these kind of guards that are dynamic, and I think he's going to be a face of the league for a long time. And I think this is the first year we get to be like Cade Cunningham, and I think in a few years we're getting a superstar.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that breakout. He had the breakout this year, but
Yeah.
he's just going to elevate beyond this season.
Don, are you ready?
Let's do it.
It's time for the basketball bust of the year. This is a very important year. We're going to actually send a bag full of dog poop on fire to this person's house. So we have to be very careful with who we give this award to.
Okay.
I have a couple honorable mentions.
Sure.
I did bring up Jordan Poole. Minus 558 rating. He's ungodly bad.
Yes. Terrible.
He's very bad at basketball, but he plays on the Wizards, so the expectations is bad. Kyle Kuzma is another player for me. Minus 419
He's
rating.
just fallen off a cliff.
I think he's one of those. I think he's as good as Zach LaVine. I think Zach LaVine may be a little bit better, but they're one of these players that people want them to be like a good number 3 or even like a number 4.
They've shown that they can be in the past.
Correct. I think they're more like, hey, we're your 5th best player on your team. Maybe like 4th or 5th best player, not second.
Yeah.
You know? My winner.
Sure.
This one was hard to give out. This is a player that I've loved. But with everything that's happening right now, it has to be Paul George.
I don't like this.
You have Paul,
Paul George.
No way.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. Let's
talk about it. First off, I think his contract was stupid. Like the idea of having a 4-year.
I'm not gonna like this. I love Paul George.
No, I mean, normally I do. Normally I do respect Paul George. I think he's a great player. But the idea of having a 4-year super max deal and then immediately having your worst season, I think the 76ers were silly for signing him because they had a bunch of cap space. They could have built around Embiid and Maxley, but there wasn't any big superstar, so they just chased the biggest name on the market. He's had so much injury history in the last couple years.
He's a big body who plays a certain way of basketball, who maybe at this age probably shouldn't be betting too much or putting too much stock into their ability to play basketball right now.
16.2 points per game, which isn't terrible, but he's doing that on a 43% from the field, had a lot of clutch moment game turnovers constantly. And again, super max deal for 4 years. He's on this roster for a long term.
He's a guy that every time I turned on the TV and watched, I was like, oh, you're bad. I'm going to give my award to someone else because now I get the free cop out of saying I didn't say anything bad about Paul George. I will change my award to Bradley Beal, which is the worst contract in sports.
That is
and I'll die on that hill.
No, they cannot get rid of him.
They actually can't. There's
Like-
two players in the league who have a no trade clause. That is LeBron James and Bradley Beal. That's it.
On top of not just the no trade clause and the contract being an issue, he is so detrimental to the organization.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Durant's probably going to want to be moved this year.
He's gonna get moved, and they might lose Devin Booker too.
Devin Booker has already started talking that he wants to leave.
Yeah, it's
Like he is.
they're gonna have to build a team around Bradley Beal, who is bad now and might have always been bad. He was just good in Washington, and I don't know if you guys know the numbers I was saying a few minutes ago, but Washington is a cesspool of basketball. It's where he goes to die.
I mean, Beal on Washington, I think was okay, considering he got to play the Russell Westbrook style.
Every time someone leaves Washington to go to another team,
They fall off a cliff.
and it's not an age thing. John Wall, I love John Wall. I'd love to tell myself that John Wall was a good basketball player, but every time I turn on that Hornets tape, it tells me quite literally the opposite. And the exact same thing happened to me with Bradley Beal. And when the exact same thing's going to happen when Alex Sarr gets traded, the center from the Wizards, in a few years because people think he's really good, and then he's going to go to like the Knicks or like the Pelicans, and they're going to accept them to make a big move, and he's going to eat them alive.
I think Sarr has a chance only because Bradley Beal and John Wall. The reason we thought they were so good is they got to play hero ball. Every possession was hero ball.
Can I make it? I love hero ball. It's my favorite ball.
But when you have absolutely no one else on the roster, you look amazing by comparison when you do that. He at least SARS has Jordan Poole on the roster who's running enough hero ball for everybody.
He's
in the
taking
entire
all the shots.
league.
I love Jordan Poole. Never change, Jordan. Never change.
And we still loop it back to Jordan Poole.
I love it. I mean, that might be the name of this episode. Let's get into the bust of the week. I know we just gave our bust of the year, but we'll give you a bust of the week. It allows me to touch on a topic that I think we should be talking about, which is the Aaron Rodgers going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, your Pittsburgh Steelers, Donovan Dion.
Are we going to hit every team in the AFC North today? We already hit the Browns. We keep referencing that I'm a Ravens fan. We have the Steelers.
The bingo cards, it's almost
almost
buddy.
there.
We just need that corner team. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm not going to get too into it.
Yeah.
I think they had to sign Rodgers because you can't go in with Mason Rudolph unless you are actively doing the tank situation.
I hope. I was praying that they would rebuild
I
this
know
year.
you would, but I have the over on win total, so I need them to win.
Fair enough, fair
and
enough.
they will win
We'll
8
see.
games.
TJ Watt is still sitting out.
I know, and he's probably not going to get paid.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pass rushers in the NFC North that don't want to go to camp. I will say this. Aaron Rodgers had to be signed to the Steelers. It was just going to happen.
Yeah.
But signing him for $19.5 million is so disrespectful to so many players, especially Gardner Minshew. That deserves to be Gardner Minshew's money. Gardner Minshew is as good, if not better, than Aaron Rodgers is right now. That I'm going to die on that hill. Bust of the week, Steelers.
I hate that that's not a crazy amount of hyperbole for me.
It's not crazy.
No, like, I don't think he is. I think he's more physically gifted than Rodgers is right now.
Is he a... Keep talking.
I think he's a Raider.
I think he got cut.
Oh, goodness. I hope not. He needs to go get... Someone needs to put him on a practice squad. The Giants need to go get him or something. For me, we are completing the bingo card with the Bengals.
He's a Chief.
He's a Chief?
That's
Okay.
a great contract for them.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fair enough. And you get a decent quality guy as the backup.
That's a great move by the Chiefs.
For me, it is the Bengals organization because they are showing completely that not only do they not care about defense, they don't care about their players.
Yeah, the more and more time moves on, the more and more I'm like, damn, Don might be right about the Bengals.
It's Trey Hendricks is still sitting out. He has not shown up to the rookie camps or any of the early optional camps right now.
Not at OTAs.
Not at OTAs whatsoever. He is still, after leading the league in sacks last season, and they still have yet to talk about any contract, and he has openly said that he is willing to miss games this season over this.
Yeah, he's probably going to miss some games.
He's most likely to miss some games.
Yeah, and he's one of the players on the Bengals that I understand you probably can't afford, but you need to figure it out because he is an impactful player. And if not, if you're actually not going to re-sign him, you need to trade him
because you can get a lot of value for him now.
I don't think they can get a lot of value for him. I think what they're going to get is probably a 3rd round pick.
That's enough value over missing games and not having him on the roster whatsoever.
Unless they think they can still get him on a deal.
I don't think they can because they have the cap space. They can do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to.
I think the Bengals have shown a lot of times that they don't want to do things.
Another thing they don't want to do is sign their rookie pass rusher, Stewart.
Yeah, I saw that they did like a weird little contract loophole, right?
Yeah, because the minimum, the guaranteed money and the base salary and all that is set by the NFL for all rookies. That is there. The Bengals have now changed contract verbiage for the first time ever doing this because they said they want to set a new precedent going forward. They changed the amount of guaranteed money and guaranteed incentives.
I hate that.
That's all Stewart's asking for. It goes, hey, your last 2 first-round picks both had this in their contracts. Why are you changing it for me? And he was a higher draft pick than each of the previous 2 years.
I think the Bengals are cash poor. I think they got to figure out their finances because this is a consistent issue that they run into every single offseason.
And they have a 3rd player they just pissed off. Because they also just recently cut Jermaine Pratt.
Very good player.
Very good coverage linebacker. Yeah. I think a great depth piece. But the idea that they didn't just cut him, they cut him. Just
like, all right, man, we got.
End of last season, he requested a trade because they openly said we are not going to re-sign you for the next year. He's on the last year of his contract. We're not going to re-sign you. So he said, okay, can you trade me? So that way I can go somewhere where I can get re-signed. I don't need to go test the free agency and all that stuff.
They were trying to make a playoff push. I don't blame the Bengals for that.
After the season, he asked for it. He asked for it in February.
Oh, so they just cut him instead?
They held him until now and then cut him during OTAs.
I wonder, they probably got a contract cut from it or something like that. I know a lot of
saves $200,000 against the cap.
Oh, my gosh.
They did this just to give a middle finger because he requested a trade.
That's just bad organization.
That's bad. Not even to get value from him, not even look for a trade. They did this, and his value's on all-time low now.
As a Ravens fan, do you sit here and you're watching your entire division be like, just like falling apart and you just like laugh? You're just like maniacally like, ha, ha, ha. But here's the thing. All those teams are going to be pretty good teams.
They're all going to be decent. Like, it's not that they're taking a huge step back.
It's got to be so annoying.
To me, this... Like, not even in a division. Like, I don't want any team to treat players like this.
I don't want anyone to treat anyone
disgusting.
Like this. Yeah, it's bad.
Like, I think they are cash. And there's talk that they may leave Cincinnati at some point. There's also those rumors because they want to move stadiums.
If they do, I think they should actually just become the Tigers. I think they should absolutely rebrand. I think they gotta leave the Bengals moniker behind.
Completely, if they ever do. Like, it's
gross.
It's really gross to watch. They are actively harming athletes at this point.
Hall of Famer of the week. This goes out to the award, not an award, but we give out an award to a Hall of Famer. You get your brown jacket. Welcome to our Hall of Fame for that week. My Hall of Famer of the week is Coco Gauff.
Sure.
Tennis, I know, crazy, right? The French Open was this weekend.
Yeah.
Women's, the number 1 and number 2 seed ended up meeting at the finals, and it was an incredible match where Coco Gauff started off down 4-1. She ended up fighting back. Her opponent was like arguing with her coach in the stands. It was like a 5-hour symphony of like just egos and like storylines. And yeah, did I just watch Challengers, the movie about tennis? Yeah. Did this influence like how I watched the game? I feel like that's what it was for.
That's what it is for, is to bring new fans to the sport.
And Coco Gauff killed it, and she made a comeback, and she was standing there on the podium quoting Tyler the Creator, and she's like, I've won 2 French Opens at the age of 21. I'm the first person to do it since 2015. It's her first French Open from an American since Serena Williams in 2015. It's her second Open win. She's stepping into being one of the greatest tennis players that we have in the game right now.
Yeah, if she stays on this path, she can be in the conversation with Serena without a doubt. Like, Absolutely. Coco Gauff is. I love that she finally got over the hump in a big way because she was consistently in the semifinals.
Yeah,
but just couldn't get to that point, and so seeing her finally break through is amazing.
It was awesome, and that match was like crazy. I know 5 hours is a lot, but I mean, if I told you your baseball game went to like the 11th inning, you'd be very excited to watch it. So.
I mean, we talk about long games. We had double overtime in NHL.
Is that your...
That is going to be my Hall of Fame of the week is Brad Marchand. I have to give it to the Rat. Also, weird tie into that. Coco Gauff, I think in the second round, beat Sergei Bobrovsky's girlfriend or wife in the French Open as well.
That's
the
weird.
goalie for the Florida Panthers.
Small circles, man.
Small circles there. But yeah, Brad Marchand getting the game two double overtime game winner, getting the goal to get it close to overtime. He entered in game 3, scoring 3 straight goals essentially between the 2 games.
I didn't know
because he was the first scorer in the Florida game in game 3.
You're saying nice things about the Florida Panthers?
I respect the Panthers. I don't like how they play. I hate Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett is just a scumbag. Brad Marchand, if you're going to be a dirty player, you're going to be a little scummy, you're going to be a little slimy, he's the best guy to do it.
This is your Hall of Famer of the week.
This is my Hall of Famer of the week.
Let's go right into our next segment.
Sure.
We're going to make it quick.
Yeah.
I just want to touch it. Panthers, Oilers. We're going into game 4.
Yes.
Don is actively rooting for the Oilers. He loves Connor McDavid. I'm also kind of rooting for the Oilers. I love Connor McDavid. I like Corey Perry. I'm rooting for a lot of the... I think Canada... I want to see Canada win a cup.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the joke that I've been making. I would like them to win and then go on an even longer dry spell.
Oh my goodness.
But I want McDavid to win. Saying that, game 3 maybe would have one of the worst games I've ever watched in the Stanley Cup.
We were due for it. The fact that we had 3 overtimes in the first 2 games, essentially.
Beautiful.
Great hockey. It was gritty. It was there. Oilers clearly came in a little shaken up into game 3.
Long travel.
It is the longest North American travel in the finals back-to-back years. They are missing one of their star players in Hyman. Clearly is a glue guy for this roster. He is one of the tough guys.
It's also a long season, and they already travel a ton because of where they're located.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
They play
on their
82
bodies.
games in the regular season.
And I can only imagine the guys who are there. They're like, yes, they want to win this cup, but I bet you they just want to sleep for 3 days.
Yeah, give them an extra day of rest would be bliss for these guys.
In their own bed. How have you felt this series has gone, though?
I think this is a great series. I'm game 3 doesn't concern me too much. As long as the Oilers are able to mentally bounce back. It's more mental than physical at that point, because the minute that they gave up their 4th power play in the first period, you could tell the entire game shifted from we need to get back into it because they were down 2-1 at that point. It shifted from that to we're just going to get our pound of flesh. We're just going to go and beat the snot out of you. We want to fight.
The end of the game was definitely the Oilers being like, hey, come over here. We're not getting out of this super pretty. This isn't just all right, we forget about this. I really do think they're going to set the tone in this next game.
I think so as well. But that's why I have to give the compliments to Marchand. He is one of those guys to give a last second hit. He's one of those guys that kind of gets a little tough, chirps a lot, but he doesn't try to hurt people. So I'm good with getting physical, getting rough, and taking what you can, as long as you're not trying to actively injure another player, but you're just trying to wear them out. I'm all for that kind of dirty play in the NHL.
What's your confidence meter right now for the Oilers getting out of this?
I think Oilers win this. That's going to go into the pick of the week for me.
Okay.
I'm taking Oilers on.
Let's do our picks of the week, because I also got it on this game as well.
Yeah, I have Oilers on the puck line. I would take them up to -1.5. I think Florida's coming in favorite. If you could get the plus money to flip the line on to the other side, I think Edmonton wins this one. I think we see a role reversal where Florida, now that they're up by a game, focuses more on the physical attack, focuses more on getting rough and tumble. Because from game 4 to game 5, it is 1 day of rest. They're traveling back to Edmonton. They have 1 travel day, rest day, game. It is the shortest turnaround.
Don has been talking about this turnaround since before the Stanley Cup Finals started.
It's terrifying.
Don has circled exactly the scenario that is happening right now.
Yeah.
And he said, if this happens, this is the worst case scenario for the Oilers.
Yes.
How much guilt would you have if you put this team in that situation? Because it'd be 100% your fault.
I don't know if it would be 100% mine.
You spoke it into existence.
I have.
You're not supposed to say the worst outcome.
I don't think it's the worst outcome.
It's a bad outcome.
It's a very not good outcome.
Going down 3-1 with
No, I think Edmonton ties it up 2-2 beforehand in game 4.
I hear you.
Because I think Florida focuses, we're just going to hit you and not give you time to rest before game 5.
I see your
and then
philosophy
game
there.
5, they're going to turn on the Jets and try to beat a beaten up Oilers team.
I think this next game, I'm going to give you my pick of the week.
Sure.
I think this game is going to be intense.
Yeah.
I think they obviously hate each other. They've now played a ton of games against each other in the biggest stage on ice. I love the under. It's 6.5. I know the over's hit in 3 straight games. I love the under. I also love overtime. Overtime is plus 130. We have gotten overtime in 2 of these games. I think we can get the under and overtime. I think this game could genuinely be 2-1.
It wouldn't surprise me here. Another fun one. I was surprised with Edmonton's mindset. I would double it up again. Leon Draisaitl's plus 200 to get a goal in this game.
I love that.
He is one of the most consistent goal scorers. The fact that McDavid and Draisaitl didn't even get a point in game 3 each, I think that they turn it on and they definitely start cashing in this game.
I love that. I have one more bit to talk to you about. It's the question of the day, and we'll end on this question of the day today. There's been a lot of speculation in the NFL of coaches on the hot seat. And I don't want to talk about what coaches are on the hot seat, but I do want to talk about coaches that you personally don't like.
Okay.
Are there any coaches that you have like grown up hating? Because like growing up, I never hated Bill Belichick, but I didn't like him.
Yeah.
I hated Mike McCarthy growing up.
Yes.
I don't know why. It was his face. Is there a coach in today's NFL that you kind of wish gets fired?
I mean, I look at McCarthy. McCarthy is one of them for me as well.
He got fired though, so he's.
I looked at him as the same way as like Fisher on the St. Louis Rams,
yeah.
where it's like you are the podium to mediocrity, and I cannot stand that.
Do you see that there is a person in the league that embodies that now?
Mike Tomlin has that right now, yeah. But
go.
I don't hate Mike Tomlin in that way.
You still respect Mike Tomlin.
I still respect the hell out of Mike Tomlin. I think my grudge with Tomlin is not him. He is doing the best he can with that team every season. It's more the ownership, I think, is the mediocre part of it.
Yeah.
Like, you give Tomlin a good team, he wins the Super Bowl. You give Tomlin a bad team, and he goes at least 500.
Pete Carroll's a guy that comes to my mind a lot where I'm like, I think the league's passed you by, and I think it's time to go. And him being on the Raiders is going to be really weird for me this year. He's a guy that I kind of hope only wins like 4 or 5 games and is out of the league.
I think it'd be hilarious just because he's only there just to mess with Harbaugh on the Chargers.
Yeah.
And I love that pettiness of his, like, I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to mess with this guy's career as long as possible.
Every head coach in that division is a juggernaut. Yeah. Every head coach in that division should be in Canton.
I completely agree.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's not, I mean, I don't like.
I don't like Sean. I'm not a big fan of Sean Payton personally.
Yeah, that's like a personal thing, right?
That's more of a personal thing
I don't like
nowadays.
Him either. He's a cheater.
It's not even just from his Saints run. Like, yes, there were issues there, and yes, Bountygate is a thing. And
we don't count that Super Bowl in this household.
That's fine with me. But more my issue is I don't like him as a coach now. It feels like he discredits a lot of the young guys. He hasn't really adapted to the modern game. I feel in a lot of ways. I think it has.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Bust Picks, episode 66.
66.
I nailed it. My name is Dio. That is Don. And remember, pray for the parlay.